Hello YouTube fans, here again. Now I remember talking one a few weeks ago about how people, well not people, but movie company insulting James Bond, that it would upset, it would offend people of the day. Ha ha ha. And I had that fun doing that one. So I figured why not this one? Because unlike most, I do what you call research. I do research. And one I did research on and I found this very interesting was research on James Bond, let's say in the mid 80s. And what I mean by that is, for people who may or may not know this, well, a lot of people know that before Timothy Dalton originally it was going to be Pierce Brosnan. We all know that now, that Pierce Brosnan originally was going to prize the role as Bond, James Bond. But it was not to be because he still was doing the show Repid and Steel. Um, so, but before that, there was another actor could have played the role before Timothy Dalton, that being Sam Neeson. And for anyone who does not know who Sam Neeson is, think of Oldman's Fee, The Final Conflict, think of Besessen, think of Jurassic Park. The list goes on. The list goes on. But Sam Neeson was he's too old. Not really. Back then, I think like he was 35. So Sam Neeson was at a decent age to play Bond. He was 35. He had that sort of character. And when you think about it, he already was James Bond. During the early 80s or late 70s, we might one there, say late 70s, before Oldman's Fee, Besessen, and all that, he was doing a TV show called Ace of Spies, which technically you could say it was sort of like Bond. It was a TV show what he was doing. And you could definitely see Bond in that. So we definitely had Pretension, I meant to say, for being the next Bond after Roger Moore. So in 1985, we all know A View to a Kill was the last Bond movie of Roger Moore. Roger Moore decided to call it a day. So naturally, we're looking for a new actor to take on Bond. So Sam Neeson, believe it or not, he did an interview. He did film footage where he was doing the audition of Bond and so on. And I've seen the footage. I've seen the footage what originally The Living Daylights, being the next Bond title, was going to be like with Sam Neeson, where he was, I think, Mike, he was doing some of the lines from Russell with Love, which is funny because in 1982, James Bolden, another actor, an American actor, we all know who James Bolden is, originally was going to play Bond, and that might be the next one I might talk about. He also did the same lines. So he did like the same lines that Connery did, Sean Connery, in For Muscle of Love. He used them lines. And I kind of like the role. I think he did a really good scene in it. He really looked the part back then. I mean, he was in his mid 30s. He looked good. He looked fit. He looked healthy. And this is what I think it would have been like had he would have got the role, because there's a lot of reasons why he didn't get the role. One of the reasons was, if I remember rightly, Albert Harpotley didn't like him. Whether that's true or not is a different story. And another, Sam Neeson, he didn't really want to play Bond. There's been this where he's been on reviews about this, he's been talking about this, and he even makes fun of it. He wasn't really into playing that role. It's just the same, really. It's the same because I've seen original posters, believe it or not, what it would have been like Sam Neeson would have done. And myself, I felt myself if Sam Neeson was to do the role of James Bond, get it right, Fencer, I felt it would have been a bit like Roger Moore. Because Sam Neeson, as you know, is very British, he's very posh. He would have given it more Britishness. It would have still had that British sort of humour, what you see in the Roger Moore ones, that sort of funny humour, what was used in it, like, how can I put it, like an octopus there, the swinging on the rope, it's got Tarson, the car in Man the Golden Dun when it turns around and you got that fucking whistle. Some of the Spy Who Loves Me, we got Lawrence Arabia and all that, and even bits in A View to a Kill with the Beach Boys song. It still would have had that humour, and I felt maybe it still had a bit more of that humour. But saying that, I think Sam Neeson, he would have given it a bit more depth. He would have gotten to more in that role, more in that depth role. He would have given it more sex appeal. He definitely would have proved that he's a ladies' man. And I would have bought straight away that he would have been the man who had the Fodder, the Martini, the beautiful brunette, the beautiful blonde, the beautiful redhead, whatever woman Bond likes. I felt Sam Neeson would have still done that. 'Cause I like Sam Neeson. I like Sam Neeson. What can I say about Sam Neeson? He's an unestimated actor. I liked him when he did Omen's Fee. I know a lot of people do not like Omen's Fee. They have prefer the Tacit original one with Tedley Peck, Lee Remitt. I admit it's a classic. They have like the second one, but people normally avoid the third Omen's film like it's an STD. I didn't mind it. I like Sam Neeson's performance as Damien. I felt he was evil. He really played an evil character. You could buy him being this evil person. I also liked him in Possession, which we all know is a hidden gem. I liked him in Possession. It was a good film. I've seen him in other films. He plays a really good role. I like him in Jurassic Park. I like him in the sequels that are not as good. But what can I say? I like Sam Neeson. He's a very unestimated actor. And I felt my role, he would have been more sex appeal. What it would have been like in the action scenes. It's an interesting one, this. I don't really want to see him as much of action or anything, but I don't know, maybe he would have been good for action. He's definitely good when I saw him deliver the lines. He definitely played a good role. Maybe in the action scenes, I felt maybe some of the fighting scenes he would have been good. Standing to the action scenes would have been mostly done by a stuntman. I felt he would have had stamina in the action scenes. He definitely would have delivered a good action scene. And it's one of these. Did Albert Arbottley not like him? Was Sam Neeson's art not in Bane Bond? But we never know, because we all know Sam Neeson didn't get the role. Originally it was going to be Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan, we know the history now. He didn't get the role because his stew was on contract, so he had no option but to do Redford and Steel. Which, to be honest, Redford and Steel, I like it. It's not bad. But the end of the day, it only lasted one season, and we all know then Timothy Dalton was Bane Bond. And again, I like Timothy Dalton. I know Timothy Dalton did his own stunts, did his own action scenes, did most of his own stunts. He was more of an action guy than a woman man. And a lot of people said he was more faithful to the book versions of Bond. But it's one of these. If I had a Commodore universe, and that's a big word from that, but they say we had a Commodore universe, I would have been curious what would have happened. Let's say if Albert Arbottley did like him. I mean, I never knew. I'm not a fan of the wall. Let's say Sam Neeson said, "Yeah, I'll take the role. Why not? It'd be good. It'd be a date for me. Why not? It's a good movie career. Why not?" So let's just say, for argument's sake, he got the role. And that's what I'm getting at about burping. That's what I'm getting at. What it would have been like if it was in an optical universe, went into a time machine, we altered the time, we fucked around in an local just like Michael J. Fox did in Back to the Future. And in 1986, he got the role of James Bond. Would he have done two, like Timothy Dalton? Would he have done three? Would he have omitted the four? Would it have just been like a one-off, like George Lazenby? It's an interesting one, but it would have been interesting to see what it would have been like at Sam Neeson, the actor, what it would have been like if he would have played James Bond. It's an interesting topic. But next time I'll probably talk what it would have been like if James Bolden would have got the role. Because we all know in 1982, For Your Eyes Only, originally in 81, was going to be Roger Moore's last outing as Bond. But we'll leave that for another day. But until then, be smart, be safe. See you later.